Hey everyone, Coach Investor back to another video for today and back with the first earnings video of this earnings season. Yes, we're going to talk about Netflix later today, but let's start with ASML. The stock is flat after a beat and a raise. So what exactly has happened? We're going to discuss in this video. We're going to have a look at the graph later on as well. But first, quick comment here from the CEO and a look at Outlook. So our second quarter net sales came in at 6.9 billion euros at the high end of their guidance, with a gross margin of 51.3%, which was higher than guided, primarily driven by additional DUV immersion revenue in the quarter. Now, customers across different market segments are currently more cautious due to continued macroeconomic uncertainties and therefore expect a later recovery of their markets. Also, the shape of the recovery slope is still unclear. However, this is something we've discussed before. Our strong backlog of around 38 billion euros provides us with a good basis to navigate these short-term uncertainties. Now, we touched on this previously with this huge of a backlog. Usually when you look at chip companies, you have down cycles, you have up cycles. But with a 38 billion euro backlog, usually during the down cycle, you're still trying to get those orders from the up cycles. So really with ASML, you can't really look at it as down cycle, up cycles. Now continuing here with the outlook, they expect third quarter net sales between 6.5 and 7 billion euros with a gross margin of around 50%. ASML expects R&D cost of around 1 billion euro and SG&A costs around 285 million euros. Due to strong DUV revenue and despite the increased uncertainties, ASML expects strong growth for 2023 with a net sales increase towards 30% and a slight improvement in gross margin relative to 2022. Now, what were the estimates from analysts? Well, if you go here on Coifin, which by the way I'll have the CEO on, I think on Thursday, so if you have some questions, let me know down in the comments below. So for fiscal year 2023, growth is expected to be 31.84%. Fiscal year 2024, 12.88%, and then fiscal year 2025, 16.46% for sales. Now for EPS, that's a 41% growth for fiscal year 2023, 20% growth for 24, and 26% for 2025. Now, the company itself has been doing quite well this year, up close to 40%, up close to 80% since the lows back in October. It's not on the cheap end, but since this is basically a monopoly that we're talking about here, I mean, that's the price to pay. Now, they did also update on dividend and share buyback programs. So an interim dividend of €1.45 per ordinary share will be made payable on August 10th, 2023. In the second quarter, they repurchased around €500 million worth of shares under the current 2022-2025 share buyback program. So far so good. The muted reaction of the market is basically because of, well, the fact that the stock has gone up quite a lot recently, plus still some more uncertainties in the short term despite the huge backlog. Now, you can always get everything. You can't always get a beat and a raise and then another 10% jump in the stock, especially not if you're up 40% this year and up 80% since the lows back in October, November. This is just how the market reacts currently. Of course, during the day, throughout the week, things can change as the market digests these results. And of course, as we will get more and more results from other chip makers, semiconductor companies, maybe the stocks will move up or down. Now, if you're enjoying this type of video so far, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. We really appreciate that. We're trying to reach 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So thank you very much. And if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. So let's have a look at the numbers, shall we? So Q2 net sales was 6.9 billion euros, gross margin of 51.3%, net income of 1.8 billion euros. Now, quarterly net booking in Q2 was 4.5 billion euros, of which 1.6 billion is EUV. And if we look at the comparison between Q1 and Q2, you can see that the new lithography systems sold, so in units, 96 for Q1, 107 for Q2, and used lithography systems 4 in Q1, 6 in Q2. Now, net bookings obviously also increased by close to 1 billion there. Gross profit is up by around 100 million. Gross margin is up from 50.6% to 51.3%, always nice to see. Then net income was basically flat-ish. Now, looking at the stock currently, we are 16.35% away from reaching all-time highs, which was reached in September of 2021. Now, currently, RSI not really overbought on a weekly basis. MACD still positive there. We are sitting above the 200, the 50, and the 20-day moving average. I think we're going to stay like that for quite a while. If we look at the daily chart, yes, maybe it would like to come back to the 20 and the 50-day moving average. That would see the stock go back closer to $700 or so. But really, for the long term, it doesn't really matter what happens right now. The stock will do what the stock will do in the short term. In the long term, this company is still going to execute quite well. Now, of course, with restrictions for China, etc., yes, this is going to impact ASML in one way or another. But overall, the world is large enough for ASML to conduct their business and grow accordingly for years and years to come. And so to conclude, beat, raise, stock reaction is neutral. The stock itself is up 40% and 80% since the lows back in October. Do with that info what you want, but to me, you're holding a very, very good and quality company for the long term. If you're looking for some short-term volatility, you can definitely expect that this earnings season. Of course, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.